I don't think, I mean, usually I introduce somebody and I'll say, hey, he's the co-founder of Home Depot. But this man's accomplishments are just astounding. By the time he was 15, he had already held more than a dozen jobs. He had joined a gang, worked as a hypnotist in the Catskills. He's a son of a cabinet maker and garment worker. His dad survived the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, which is incredible in and of itself. He became somebody who is well known what he did. He is the guy who co-founded Home Depot. Things were so bad the first day on opening day that his wife said, "You're not shaving," because she said, "I don't want a razor anywhere near your throat." From there, they've gone to 500,000 associates, 2,300 stores. And this is a guy that was a son of a Russian immigrant who just believed in the United States being that golden land. He has since retired from Home Depot, and he and his wife, Billy, started the Marcus Foundation. They have given more than $2 billion in grants. They're both strong believers in, helping out as much as you possibly can. The Marcus Institute has programs for children with disorders of the brain. They also have the Autism Center, which offers expanded services for children with autism. He has founded or funded the Grady Health System for the Marcus Stroke and Neuroscience Center, the Marcus Trauma Center, the Piedmont Heart Institute. He established the nation's first heart valve reference center. MDA out of Israel. He partnered with them to build a critically needed new national blood center in Israel. He created Project Share to ensure that the members of the military and veterans get diagnosed and cared for without any financial constraint by underwriting the housing, transportation, and care costs of any military personnel with brain or spinal injuries who are sent to Shepherd Hospital. He founded the Nanotechnology Research Center building at Georgia Institute of Technology. He's the guy who's responsible. He and his wife created the Georgia Aquarium. It's the largest aquarium in the world, 60 exhibits, 550,000 square feet, 10 million gallons of water, 125,000 animals, and it's the world's only aquarium and vet medicine teaching hospital in the world. He funded and created the Jobs Creator Network, a group of current retired CEOs and entrepreneurs who have come together to preserve the free enterprise system. During the pandemic, he granted money to study the effects of high doses of vitamin C. Also, for those who have issues that prevent the use of hydroxychloroquine, he created a clinical trial for blood tests for Corona-19 antibodies. He supported 2 hospitals that opened floors specifically for the coronavirus patients. His Job Creators Network was instrumental in securing funding and for small and medium-sized business. He and his wife, Billy, one of the first to sign the Giving Pledge. My gosh. Oh, and he has a new book out. He came out last year. Kick Up Some Dust. Lessons on thinking big, giving back, and doing it yourself. What an honor to welcome Bernie Marcus onto the program. Hi, Bernie.
God, Glenn, I'm worn out just listening to you on the introduction.
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredible life. An incredible life. Wow. Thank you.
Well, look, you put on this earth for a very short time, and you're hoping that you're going to do the best you can, and God willing, you're able to do it. Now, we grew up very poor. My parents were Russian immigrants. We lived in a 4th-floor tenement in Newark, New Jersey, and to say we were poor would be an understatement. We virtually had nothing. And in those days, they didn't have the umbrella. You didn't have food stamps. They didn't give out, cell phones to people. We just made it. My father didn't, and he was a lousy businessman and a great carpenter, but not a good businessman. If he didn't make any money, we didn't eat. And it was as simple as that. But one thing we had the family, and we had the love in the family. And my mother, who really ran the family, believed in America, and she thought this is the golden land. And she kept saying to me, no matter what you want to be, you can be it in America. This is the golden land. And she was 100% right. And she said, if you work hard and you keep focused and you don't let bad problems affect you and knock you down, if you keep going, that you will be successful or whatever you want to be. She said, you could be the president of the United States. Although, Glenn, why would I want to do that?
No, not...
Jeez,
yeah, I know.
My God,
I know.
I mean, what Trump is going through is unbelievable.
I am just like you. I am so worried about freedom and the free market, the ability to think and become. It's all going away so quickly, and it just seems like America is asleep, or they don't realize that it won't always be like it was. I think people have this, these things happen, and, no, we're on the verge of losing everything that our founders worked for and people like you built over the last 250 years.
Well, I'm sorry to say that you're probably right. I'm 93 years old.
Jeez.
And I've lived through so many administrations, Republican, Democrat, and I never thought that the world could change so quickly in 2 years. Biden got into office, and he is extreme in every day way you could think of. And I'm a great believer in the capitalist system. I think capitalism built America.
Yeah.
Made us the strongest land in the country in the world. That's why people have come across the border. They want to come here, and they want to have their own American dream. It's the only place. You can't have it in India, China, or Russia, or Venezuela,
even Europe,
or the UK, or anywhere.
Yeah,
and you can have it here. As long as you believe in what you want, what you're doing, and work hard, but that's not the case anymore.
I was going to say, is it true? Could you start Home Depot today, like you did, back when you started it?
I don't think so, Glenn, and I think the reason is they have so many obstacles for small businesses. We're a small business, and that's why I started Job Creators Network, to protect small businesses, because I know it's the backbone of America. 70%, about 70 million people work in small businesses. I'm talking about the pizza shop, the cleaning store, the drugstore. These are all small businesses. And we never had the regulations that they have today. And what he's trying to do, and I'm talking about Biden now and the Democratic Congress, they want to pass laws that raise taxes that'll knock out half the American or half the small businesses in America. They're not going to survive. They can't survive now. They're barely making it now because they can't find people that want to work. I mean, think about this in America. You can't find people that want to work. And it's amazing, why would people work when they, in some cases, with two in a family, maybe a couple of kids, you can make $90,000 a year sitting on your rear end at home and not working. So the American dream is starting to fade, and it's shameful. And kids coming out of college that are being taught these woke policies believe in socialism. And they did a survey. I think there were 35% believe that socialism is better than capitalism. And let me tell you something. Capitalism is what made the Home Depot. If we weren't able to sell stock on the street, because when we opened the store, I'm talking about the first Home Depot store, we were terribly undercapitalized. And the only thing that kept us alive was being able to go to the capital markets and raise money. And we did that. And today, Home Depot is, $100 billion in sales plus 500,000 associates in the United States, in Mexico and Canada, in Guam and in Hawaii, and is a very profitable company. But if you look at what they're trying to do with this ESG, which is, they're now doing it with the financial institutions and with the investment funds, we're going to destroy America. They're killing off the goose, and I don't get it. Why would they want to do this?
Well, that's, I think, why so many people don't understand or don't accept anything as a plan. They just think maybe this is incompetence, but there's too much that has happened for, anybody's batting average to be that bad unless it's intentional. And what they're doing is resetting capitalism. They're resetting it to a stakeholder capitalism. And the stakeholders are the businesses, the community leaders, if you will, and the government. And they're directing us into this new system and destroying the value of our dollar to be able to reset into something that they have more control over. It's something that, I don't think people really, most people are not evil. Most people aren't really even bad. So when they see somebody who's doing something that is really bad or evil, they have a hard time accepting it, because they'd be like, why? People don't do that. Why would they do that? But power and money and greed, powerful.
Yeah, I think that many people, I'm talking about the American people today, are really thinking with their hearts, but they're not thinking with their brains. Mm-hmm. Look at this inflation, what it's doing to this country, and what it's doing to the middle class and lower class is just outrageous. People can't afford to put meat on the table, eggs, or, the simple things because of inflation, and it's all manufactured by the policies of Biden. So it didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't just happen. This was done purposely. Now, does he want to bring down this country? I don't know. He's doing a hell of a good job of it.
Yeah. We're talking to Bernie Marcus, the Marcus Foundation chairman and the co-founder of Home Depot. I want to talk to you a little bit about the banking system and the belief in capitalism. How does somebody who was born, on September 11th, even, they have not seen what capitalism in a free market really is. They've seen the crony capitalism, and they're in their 20s now. So how do we reverse this? We'll continue our conversation in 60 seconds.
Ladies, are you feeling satisfied in the bedroom? Men have their solutions, but women haven't had many options. So meet Ristella. Ristella's a hormone-free, plant-based product that's clinically shown to increase sexual satisfaction by 60% in the first month. That's right. Ristella makes intimacy more sensitive, more stimulating, and more satisfying. No hormones, no steroids, and no prescription. Just pleasure. Ristella is so effective, more than 3,600 gynecologists across the country recommend it to improve sexual function. The ingredients in Ristella have been used safely and effectively by women in Europe for over 20 years. Don't you owe it to yourself to give Ristella a try? Visit BetterSexForWomen.com. Use code Radio42 to get 20% off your first month subscription plus free shipping. That's BetterSexForWomen.com, code Radio42. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Ramsey Show.
You'll learn how to live on a budget, get out of debt, and save for your future.
On SiriusXM Triumph.
Here at The Blaze, we follow the stories you care about most. But with so much to pay attention to, it can be hard to keep up with the conversation. So when you join us on Facebook and Twitter, you have the power to connect to the stories that matter instantly. The Blaze gives you the news and information you crave, and your comments and opinions help ignite the conversation. Follow us at twitter.com/theblaze and facebook.com/theblaze to share and be a part of the conversations that make a difference.
Bernie Marcus. Bernie, how long has it been since we've been in an actual free market? Because people, the youth today, they have no idea. They see capitalism as something that is just enriching really, really rich people and really corrupt partners in Congress or in the White House.
Well, yeah. Well, you only have to go back 2 years. You know, when Trump was president, and a lot of people hate Trump. I mean, really hate him, not because of his policies, but his policies brought about a period of time when everybody was in good shape. The poor, the middle class, the minorities had more minorities working than any time in the history of this country. Inflation was, a 1.5% or something. And they say all ships rise. Well, everybody was making money. Everybody was doing better. All the things were happening. They were good. And then COVID came along, and it killed the Trump administration. And I think it killed his ability to get reelected. That plus ill-advised things that he said, but his policies were terrific. And so capitalism was flourishing during this period of time. The stock market was flying. People were making a lot of money in their 401ks, and everything looked really good. And Biden came in, and it was like you took a cloak and you just put it over the economy. And from that day on, inflation started to rise. He started to spend more money than we have, much more, and in frivolous places. And, of course, we saw inflation starting to go up, and the cost of energy killed everybody and killed the entire supply line. And I don't know, the American people, aren't you feeling it? Don't you feel it every time you go to a supermarket or you pay your rent and your rent is up dramatically? The American people, I've always had faith in them. I hope that they wake up and understand that they can't afford these policies anymore and vote the people out of office.
Bernie,
brought it to them.
I would love to continue our conversation. You're the only 93-year-old that probably has limited time, in his schedule. If you can stay another 15 minutes, I would like that. Just talk to our producers off air. Ask him. Bernie Marcus, the Home Depot co-founder, he is very outspoken on what's going on with the banks, and we're going to talk to him. By the way, he's 93. Compare him to the president.
Glenn Beck Weekend.
SoundCloud is the undisputed online launching pad for a new generation of hip-hop stars. Let's go. SiriusXM's
SoundCloud Radio
is the place to discover the trending new sounds moving the culture and hip-hop hits that broke through online. It's available anytime
on the SXM app.
But SoundCloud Radio is coming to Channel 44 all weekend and the SXM app. Free for most subscribers.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I had sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel the timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare contract or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-780-5959. That's 800-780-5959. 800-780-5959.
Hi, Gwyneth Paltrow here. We do everything with our hands. We type, text, chop, mix, cook, open jars, play music, drive places, day in and day out, every single day. So when our hands hurt, we can't do anything. And that's why I love CopperFit hand relief compression gloves. The open finger design lets me type and text with complete freedom. And that gentle hug the compression gives my hands, what's not to love about that? But the non-slip grip in the palm, that's pure gold. That lets me keep a firm hold on the steering wheel, the phone, or whatever I'm trying to grip. CopperFit hand relief is a necessity for me, and they're pretty cool looking, which makes wearing them even better. CopperFit hand relief. Give them a try. You'll love them.
Get yours today for only $19.99 at CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Target, or Walmart. Or go to CopperFitUSA.com. Individual results vary and results are not typical. For more information, visit CopperFitUSA.com.
Attention small business owners needing financing. Are you frustrated with a slow process and high interest rate quotes from your bank? Then you need Swish Funding, the small business funding experts, where our simple application process takes just minutes with affordable funding as soon as one business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $10,000 to $500,000. If you've been in business for 1 year or more with an annual income of at least $100,000, you can get the affordable funding you need with no collateral. Swish Funding is providing funds for expansion, inventory, increased overhead, even slow cash flow to small businesses all over America. Restaurants, plumbing, landscaping, trucking, auto body shops, healthcare providers, and more are getting the funds they need fast. At Swish Funding, applying takes just minutes with funds in your bank account within 24 hours. Go to swishfunding.com today. That's SWISH funding.com. Swishfunding.com.
Tens of thousands affected by the toxic water at Camp Lejeune are left with death, cancer, Parkinson's, dementia, birth defects, and other serious illnesses. And along with the harm, so many worries.
My family drank the Camp Lejeune water. What if our health gets worse and we need more financial help?
How do I protect my VA benefits and get the compensation I deserve and need?
The answer is simple. Call James Harris Law, the experienced, trusted law firm that can get you significant compensation while protecting all your VA benefits. We're already fighting for hundreds of Marines, families, and civilians who drank Camp Lejeune water. But if you miss the deadline, you could forever lose your right to the justice you deserve. So call our Camp Lejeune legal helpline now. Now may be your last chance to receive full compensation. Don't delay. Call 800-771-1722. 800-771-1722. 800-771-1722.
You probably already know that Rosetta Stone is one of the best ways to learn a language. But did you also know that they offer a lifetime subscription to all 25 of their languages? Dabble in French, try your hand at German, learn a bit of Japanese, or even explore Swedish. And right now, you can get 40% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime unlimited subscription. Visit rosettastone.com today to purchase once and learn for life. Rosetta Stone, how language is learned.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. But you can't always be at the top of your game, and it's normal to feel overwhelmed or like you aren't showing up in the ways that you want to sometimes. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the person you want to be. Because when you feel empowered, you can take on whatever life throws at you. If you're thinking of starting therapy, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, affordable, and entirely online. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist based on your unique needs and preferences. Then you can start communicating with your therapist in whatever format works for you, via video, phone, or live chat sessions. If your first match isn't the perfect fit, switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. Life is unpredictable, and it's impossible to know what's around the corner. Consistency has to come from within. Find your empowerment so you're ready for anything that comes your way. Visit betterhelp.com/Dr. Laura to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Dr. Laura.
Hey doctor, quote based on healthy non-smoking 30-year-old female with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary. Welcome to Ethos, a new kind of insurance company that believes life insurance should be hassle-free, affordable, and accessible for everyone.
For around $27 a month, I got $100,000 in term life insurance without a medical exam. All I had to do was answer a few health questions, and boom, family protected. Ethos is 100% online. I got a quote in seconds, applied in minutes, and got coverage in hours. No medical exams, no blood tests, no hassle. Look, nobody wants to plan for the unthinkable, but it would be so much worse to not plan at all. It's easy, fast, risk-free, and it's one of the best things I could have done for my family's future. Don't put it off.
Ethos, the 100% online, hassle-free way to get affordable life insurance. Don't wait. Get your free estimate today at ethoslife.com. That's ETHOS life.com.
You prepare for whatever may come your way. You be hopeful. You be optimistic. You believe.
Triumph on Sirius XM.
We are with Bernie Marcus. He is the Marcus Foundation chairman and also the co-founder of the Home Depot. He has been quite outspoken on what's happening with the banking system and capitalism. And I've just got a few more minutes with him. He's 93 years old. He's the age my father would be if my father were still alive. And I have two ways to go. I can ask him about the news, but I miss my father's wisdom of a long-lived life and perspective. So if Bernie doesn't mind, I'd just like to ask you some more philosophical questions. Bernie, do you mind?
Sure.
You know, you grew up, Depression, World War II. You have seen the Cuban Missile Crisis. You have lived through the 60s where we had huge public figures for a decade that were just shot in broad daylight and killed and assassinated. We had the drug-free thing, or free drugs and free love and the hippies and the communists and 9/11 and everything else. And America always battles and gets back to where she was and better. Is this any different than things that we've seen before all throughout your lifetime?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. And I never realized, I could sit back and say, what in God's name happened? How did it change so quickly? And how did the American people become dumbed down? Think about what we're doing with the education system. We're dumbing down the kids. We don't want the kids to know math. We don't want to be able to read. Many kids go to college, can't read, don't understand math, but they're still accepted because it's the right thing to do. It's equity. It's diversity. But we're dumbing down the whole society, and we're going to pay the bills. Well, I will tell you that the amount of money that they have spent in this, and Trump is no better. He spent a lot of money, but nothing like what Biden is going through.
No, his budget is $6.8 trillion for this year.
Yeah,
that's insanity.
He doesn't seem to have any limit, and the American people have to understand that every time you borrow, you give out money to all these programs that he believes in, that somewhere you have to pay for it. And all of this we pay interest on, and the interest is at the highest level we've ever had. So that for years to come now, for years, I'm 93, I won't be here, but the other people and their children, their grandchildren, are going to have to pay for this debt that they're spending frivolously. And I think it's just a bad policy. Glenn, I'd like to, for 1 second, to go back to my book, Kick Up Some Dust.
Mm-hmm.
I think that all the policies I believe in, the capitalist system and how people can give to charity and make money and get involved with charity and give money away, all these institutions today, the universities that we have that are all playing woke and fighting capitalism are all founded on capitalism.
I know.
If you walk through the universities, you see the names of all the capital, all the people that contributed money. They're all capitalists. And they're trying to destroy everything that came up in America. And I just hope and pray that the American people have enough sense to vote these people out who've done these policies and bring back good government, some restraint. My God, we need some restraint in Congress. They got to stop spending money the way they do. It just can't keep going on because they're going to bury this country.
Well, how long would you have been in business if you didn't have a budget for 12 years, 14 years?
Well, not only not been in business, if we didn't make money, and think about it, this ESG that they're talking about, of having climate change and diversity being the policies of a company, our policy was, how do you make money? If you don't make money, you can't hire people. If you can't hire people, you can't put them to work. That's capitalism. Putting people to work is the best thing that could happen to anybody. And when people work, they become very productive. And so you have to keep making money. You can't run it based on climate change. My God, I mean, we thought about climate change. We're concerned about the environment, but we did it within the confines of making money at the Home Depot. And if you didn't make money, you don't sell stock. And if you don't sell stock, you don't have money to refinance whatever you want to do. But capitalism is the basis of it.
Capitalism
is
the best way to run a charity. If you can do what you did, get rich, and then choose to spend some of your money, or heck, if you wanted to, all of your money on charitable ventures, that's the best thing. It's the easiest way, and the way to raise the most amount of money is through capitalism.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think about the things that I did in Atlanta, what the Marcus Foundation did. Take Atlanta, and I'm not going to take about the national things or the international things, but the Grady Hospital was the most important urban hospital in Atlanta. They were going broke. And we invested tens of millions of dollars, built the Marcus Emergency Center, the Trauma Center, the Stroke Center, saving lives every year. I mean, the government can't do that. They don't know how to do it.
What does it mean?
Look at the way the VA operates. It's a disaster.
What does it mean if Biden gets his way and he puts a 25% tax on individuals like you?
Well, he'll kill off America. I can't even believe that the Democrats would go along with that. This is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And how does that kill off America?
Well, because people will have to sell their assets in order to pay taxes. If you had a stock, if you have a farm, and that farm was worth zero, and all of a sudden, when you bought it, it was worth a couple of $100, and you spent 20 or 30 years or 40 years building up that farm to where it's now worth, let's say, $5 million. That's the value of it. they want to tax that. Well, most people, where are they going to get the money to pay the tax?
Right, because it's an unrealized asset. It's an unrealized gain.
They have to sell the asset. So you're going to find people selling off their assets. Well, in my case, I would have to sell off Home Depot stock, which is where I put most of my charity. $2 billion already in medical research. We're involved with so much research all over the country trying to save lives, and we will save lives. This is where government is not involved. I mean, we have something like with Johns Hopkins, a simple blood test that's before the FDA now, where they're going to be able to determine that somebody has stage 4 prostate cancer or ovarian cancer, or
with a blood test.
Terrible cancers that you don't usually find till the 4th stage. You can find it in the 1st stage with a very simple blood test. And our foundation paid for that research, and when it comes out, it's going to save the lives of, God knows, millions of people. And there are many things that philanthropists are involved with, and the philanthropists all have their money based on a capitalist system.
Bernie,
not socialism. Socialism doesn't work.
Let me ask you a final question before we have to let you go. The loss of America for people who have been indoctrinated with it's not a special country. It's it's one of the same. What does the loss of America mean to the average person and to the world?
Well, it's generations that will not be able to foster, will not be able to build. You'll find this country will come to a standstill. Hey, listen, you know what? Countries like Venezuela, it didn't happen overnight.
Right.
You know, these people had a good operation going, and all of a sudden they're down to the drain. Cuba, look at Russia. What happens is the powerful people take over and now run the country based on what they want, not what the people want. Russia's not a democracy. China's not a democracy. You do what they tell you to do. And this is where we'll end up the same way. We'll have somebody like a president who become a dictator, and you'll lose your freedom. You won't be able to say what you want to say. You won't be able to march in the streets and have a peaceful protest. Those things will be gone. And people like you, Glenn, they'll shut you up. You won't be able to have your program.
Let's keep that to ourselves.
Yeah, but
I know.
What do you think is going to happen?
No, I know, Bernie. I know.
It's not going to be a good world.
I know.
So I think that people should start to understand, be happy with what we have, and just wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up and vote the people out that have brought this where we are, and put people in who could take us back to prosperity.
Just have faith in Americans. Just have faith in your fellow Americans. Together we can accomplish anything on our own. That's the secret. Bernie, I can't thank you enough for spending the time with me, and it's rare to be able to talk to a living legend. And I so appreciate your time and everything that you have done, both in business and charity. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Glenn.
God bless you.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bernie Marcus. By the way, the name of his book is Kicking Dirt. Is that what it was? Kicking Up Dust. It's Kicking Up Dust by Bernie Marcus.
This is the Glenn Beck Weekend.
Game of the Elite Eight on SiriusXM and the SXM app.
Right way for the win!
Don't miss a second of the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments. Coverage of the men's tournament continues at 2 Eastern.
A two-handed hammer.
The women's tournament resumes at 6:45 Eastern.
Aaliyah Boston hits the triple.
Listen to Westwood One's coverage on Sirius channels 133 to 135 and XM 201 through 203.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Ladies, are you feeling satisfied in the bedroom? Men have their solutions, but women haven't had many options. So meet Ristella. Ristella's a hormone-free, plant-based product that's clinically shown to increase sexual satisfaction by 60% in the first month. That's right. Ristella makes intimacy more sensitive, more stimulating, and more satisfying. No hormones, no steroids, and no prescription. Just pleasure. Ristella is so effective, more than 3,600 gynecologists across the country recommend it to improve sexual function. The ingredients in Ristella have been used safely and effectively by women in Europe for over 20 years. Don't you owe it to yourself to give Ristella a try? Visit bettersexforwomen.com. Use code radio42 to get 20% off your first month's subscription plus free shipping. That's bettersexforwomen.com, code radio42. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All right, I got a confession to make. I was afraid to cancel cable, but once I did, I couldn't believe I took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a habit. I wasn't getting what I wanted, I never knew where to find any of my shows, and the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can watch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, VH1, Discovery, Lifetime, AMC, Hallmark, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. And I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. TV, that's water. Water filters red, Eco, say NA.
So one of our employees just reported.
Our manager starting at just practices. Sign up.
Mailed, and we were so excited about the violation of just everything that is good, decent, and American